Hey dumplings, it's Dave Decide. Today I want to get into Jungkook at the airport and the controversy sort of with this. I also want to talk about Jin and the members addressing HYBE losing money and what was that about. So hater or not, make sure you subscribe with the notification bell on, grab your dumpling, tea spilling mug merch, and let's get into it. The first thing that I wanted to get into was HYBE or Bang PD and kind of why they talked about losing money. So in a recent live stream that was released on V Live on March 6th, it was the member Jungkook, Jin, J-Hope, and V, and they came on to talk about the concert, how they were feeling, and really continued the previous V Live that the other three members had done. So this way the streams can feel complete with everyone having done a stream, and this way there is no one sitting here feeling like HYBE favors one member over the other because everyone got to go live. They talked about many things during this stream, such as their comeback and what they plan on doing. They kind of reassured everyone that things were happening, and they also wanted to talk about their Seoul PTD concert, which at the time did not happen yet. Something that was said, which actually made ARMYs appreciate the concert more, was how exclusive and how rare the concert actually was, which was very surprising to me. First of all, it was all due to COVID and not wanting people to exhale excessively, which is why screaming was not allowed at the concert. Thank you to those who have corrected me. The cases in Korea are going up, so the regulations are very strict there and avoid anything that can cause a further infection. The other thing that made this concert very unique was how empty these stadiums actually was. Don't get me wrong, BTS sold out and it sold out in seconds, but their concert was only 15,000 people, whereas the stadium could have held over 60,000. So it was more than half empty. This is probably done so that everyone has enough space to social distance and it's all safe and well. But they did have 3 days of concerts, so they did perform for over 45,000 people. And of course, they had their online screening, which added to more people. Jin, during the live stream, also talked about the struggles he had with performing at the Seoul concert. Every time an artist performs, we think that they just have to worry about performing. Maybe when you're a smaller artist, but as you get bigger and your revenue share gets bigger, you want to be the ones to be in charge of everything and to know exactly how much you're going to get paid and where all the money is going. Especially if you're training for literal days, you want to get paid for it. I think people don't think about this. They think that when you buy a ticket to a show, the money for the ticket goes entirely to the artist or label, but that is not true. A lot of it goes into the staff that has to be there. A lot of it goes into the stage design and props, security, lights, you get the idea. That stuff is expensive. And especially the way the boys do performances with fire shooting out on the stage and stuff like that, and then renting out the stadium per day is expensive. So every day the boys are there, not only is it expensive to rent the stadium, but all the other costs I just mentioned too. So time is literal money here. And with a more than half empty stadium, they are in the red probably every day. Jin talked about how maybe they could afford to do this because they had other income sources. I did think this was interesting because I think artists make most of their money through touring, but after the pandemic and artists found other creative ways to do things to make money, they realized that artists can actually make more money doing other things that can hopefully cover the cost of the loss that doing a concert might take right now. So Jin simply just wanted to perform for his hometown and thought it would be a way to finally see ARMY after a long time. COVID will likely peak back up again in October or September, as it normally seems like it would. So if they don't take the opportunity to perform for Korea now, they may not get the opportunity to do so later. And so you can't ignore the ARMYs who have shown support there for such a long time. Obviously, this is not a smart financial move, but sometimes you do things like that because it's not about the money. It's a way of saying thank you. And it was not like even if they held the concert for free, it was going to make the company go broke. I think it really shows the testament of how much they care about ARMY, but also just shows how much they miss performing for ARMY live. I think this was mostly for them to feel like things were normal again and a way to make some Korean ARMY feel like it was normal again. I think or hope they will be making money in the Las Vegas though. People were very excited to hear that BTS will be performing there. I actually do think there are people flying into Las Vegas to see their show. It's very common for celebrities to perform in Vegas, and people fly from all around the world to see them. It's around spring break time and people typically want to go to Vegas anyway. Why not go for a concert and also plan some other fun things to do and have a full vacation? BTS will also be in Vegas for the Grammys and hopefully will win a Grammy. BTS members were spotted by paparazzi heading to the airport. Typically, we do hear a lot of this because K-pop stars like to do airport fashion. It's something very iconic within K-pop. Idols dress up and show off huge designers and crazy fashions members at the airport. Taeyang and Jungkook typically have the best in my opinion, but it was very surprising that we did hear about the other 5 members and their airport excursion, but we did not hear or see Jungkook, and obviously J-Hope is still recovering from COVID. People were confused and wondering where Jungkook was. Then a news article was released talking about how allegedly Jungkook had left for the airport a few days prior to all the other members, and there was no news report or paparazzi of Jungkook. The paparazzi and news usually know when idols are heading to the airport because it's written in the schedule that the label usually makes public as to when the idol will be doing certain events, and oftentimes you can kind of figure out when they're flying out. But it was shocking that Jungkook's trip was not documented much or at all, meaning this was likely a last-minute thing that happened. People had some assumptions as to what it could be. Some were talking about Jungkook going solo and maybe doing a collab with Ariana Grande, Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg had talked about a collab with BTS, so maybe a solo collab with Jungkook, and even the possibility of Jungkook flying out early to work on his mixtape, either a music video or simply just working on a mixtape with an American producer. His song Euphoria was produced by a foreign producer named DJ Swivel. He's actually Canadian though, but he could be in America right now. So there's a lot of theories. People even thought that maybe Jungkook might be doing an opening solo stage for the Grammys. I don't know how possible that is. Typically songs performed at the Grammys are relevant to the year, so it'll be a song that topped #1 or is currently trending within the last year or so, and Jungkook hasn't really put out anything other than Stay Alive. But then wouldn't Suga be invited too, just to make sure the track was perfect since he produced it? But hey, total possibility here. It would be awesome to see Stay Alive perform live at the Grammys, but they typically don't allow for Korean songs to be performed there anyway. ARMYs were also talking about how they felt betrayed or a little sad that we didn't get to see Jungkook's airport fashion, as this is a big deal. But maybe we will get to see him come back and all that, and he will likely return with all the other members. With 7 members, you can definitely expect that unless it's a big event and things where they absolutely need 100% to be together, that the individual members will have things going on. Music is such a big part of their lives, but I am sure they are invested in other projects and maybe even family things that they don't often fly together. And this is expected. It doesn't mean that Jungkook has filed to leave or that he is going solo and making a mixtape with a bunch of different collabs. Quite honestly, right now, Jungkook and BTS might be more so focused on creating the next BTS album than they would be focused on creating their own individual mixtapes. The members are not upset. They're not sitting there like they don't know what to do. And the members have even talked about how supportive they would be of any of the members' individual careers or solo work. They support and are very emotionally passionate about seeing each other succeed outside of the group too. And this is something that is very beautiful to me. To know that if Jungkook does decide to do something on his own, the members will be supportive of him, but also we as ARMY need to support him as well. He is definitely working on something, which is why he flew out, and instead of being sad and saying that you would prefer them all to be together, we should be happy that Jungkook is getting these huge opportunities. While we can want BTS to be together and create music as 7, we need to understand artists also need the ability to grow and experience new things. K-pop is cool where the labels will often give the opportunities to groups and individual members to go solo. This way they can get it out of their system, but also give them an opportunity to see if they even like it. And we have seen over and over again as the members have gone solo, they have very quickly come back and did more music together. We can still do a prayer circle for a Jungkook opening stage at the Grammys though. I would love to see it. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link below. Thank you to this lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.